In this demonstration you learn how to list the blobs of a container. Let's switch to Visual Studio. Here I've opened the Wired Brain Coffee solution. Let's open up the Coffee Video Storage class as it contains a new method. Here you can see the list video blobs async method that returns a task of IEnumerable of Cloud Block Blob. In the method, a new list of Cloud Block Blob is created and that list is returned from this method. As you can see, there is a to-do command for you: load the list of videos from blob storage. To do this, you need a reference to the Coffee Videos container that is already stored here in this Cloud Blob container variable. The container is grabbed by calling the getCoffeeVideos container async method that we have implemented in the previous module. Before we implement the list video blobs async method, I want to show you where it is used. So let's go to the Wired Brain Coffee admin app and let's open up the main page XAML.cs file. As you can see, in the constructor an event handler is added for the loaded event. And in that event handler, the load coffee videos async method of the main view model is called. This is also a new method. Let's right click on it and let's go to the implementation. In that method, you can see that the list video blobs async method of the coffee video storage object is called. For every Cloud Block Blob that is returned, a new coffee video view model is added to the coffee videos property of the main view model. And as you might remember, this coffee videos property is used by the list view in the UI. So when you go to the main page XAML file and you scroll down to that list view that is used in the navigation, you can see that its item source property is bound to the coffee videos property of the main view model. Great! This means now that the list video blobs async method is called when the application is loaded. Now let's implement the logic here to fill this list of Cloud Block Blobs with the blobs from our Coffee Videos container. So let's get rid of this to-do command. Now let's use the Cloud Blob container and let's call the list blobs segmented async method on it. As you can see, this method requires a blob continuation token as a parameter. Let's just pass in null for now. When you hover the method, you can see that it returns a task of blob result segment. So let's await this method and let's store the blob result segment in a variable. The loaded items are in the results property of the blob result segment. As you can see, the results property is of type IEnumerable of iList blob item. The iList blob item interface is implemented by the classes that represent the different blob types in blob storage: Cloud Block Blob, Cloud Append Blob, and Cloud Page Blob. In addition, there is a class called Cloud Blob Directory that implements this iList blob item interface. If you have specified a path for your blob name with virtual directories, you will get Cloud Blob Directories from this list blobs segmented async method. So all these 4 different types can be in this results property. But in our case, we just want to have the Cloud Block Blobs. So we can use links of type method and we just say we want to have here Cloud Block Blobs. I press Ctrl- to add a using for system link. This of type method returns an IEnumerable of Cloud Block Blob. Now let's use our Cloud Block Blobs list here and let's call addRange. And let's pass the IEnumerable of Cloud Block Blobs to that addRange method. Now we are already done. Let's run the application and let's see this in action. As you can see, we got a list of 5 videos here. So you can select one and you can see the details. The Coffee Video admin application is connected to the Wired Brain Coffee storage account in Azure. So let's go to the Azure portal and let's check if we have these 5 videos in our Coffee Videos container. Here I've opened the Azure portal. Let's select Storage Accounts in the navigation and let's go to the Wired Brain Coffee storage account. I scroll down and I select Blobs under Blob Service. Here we have our 2 containers, Images and Coffee Videos. Let's select the Coffee Videos container. And you can see that we have 5 MP4 files in that container. These are exactly the 5 files that we just saw in the Coffee Video admin application. So let's switch back to Visual Studio. Let's close the application again. Instead of checking the files of the Coffee Videos container via the Azure portal, we could have used also the Cloud Explorer in Visual Studio. So here you can just double click on the Coffee Videos container and we can also see the 5 MP4 files here directly in Visual Studio. Now let's go back to the Coffee Video Storage class in its list video blobs async method. As you know, the list blobs segmented async method takes a blob continuation token. In the code we have written, we pass the value null for this blob continuation token. Let me explain you in the next clip for what this token is for and how to use it in your code.